What if all animals could suddenly talk? Imagine you wake up one morning, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and notice your cat staring at you. Nothing unusual until it clears its throat and says, "That brand of kibble you've been feeding me? Disgraceful. I demand salmon." At first, you'd think you were dreaming, but within minutes, the news would break. Every animal on Earth had suddenly gained the ability to speak. Not just parrots repeating words, real conversations, fluent and articulate. The immediate chaos would be breathtaking. Dogs everywhere would not shut up. They'd spend hours yelling at mail carriers, cars, and other dogs. Cats, meanwhile, would reveal they always understood us but simply chose to ignore us out of spite. Horses would gossip about the incompetence of their riders, cows would organize debates on grass quality, and pigs, let's be honest, would have existential crises about bacon. But beyond the noise, society would change overnight. Think about food. Imagine ordering a burger and the cow itself shows up on the evening news saying, "Excuse me, I did not consent to this." Meat industries would collapse in a single week. Humans might try to justify eating them anyway, but once your dinner starts making legal arguments about its right to live, suddenly vegetarianism looks a lot more appealing. Chickens would unionize. Lobsters would testify in court. KFC would rebrand into Kindness for Chickens. Zoos would shut down immediately. Animals would sue for freedom, demand Netflix subscriptions, and complain about enclosure sizes. Dolphins would start podcasts about philosophy. Octopuses, with their 9 brains, would probably outsmart every human scientist within a month. Imagine walking into a university lecture hall only to find a very smug orangutan teaching advanced physics. And pets? Oh, the betrayal. Every time you left for work, your dog would ask, "Why do you abandon me for 8 hours a day? Do you even care?" Birds would repeat embarrassing secrets you thought they never understood. Hamsters would write memoirs about the trauma of running in wheels all night. Of course, governments would get involved. If animals could speak, they'd need representation. Should they get citizenship? The right to vote? Imagine election debates where a raccoon runs against a human, promising free garbage for all. Some animals, like parrots and crows, might actually win. Insects would demand to be heard too, which raises the terrifying possibility of 10 trillion mosquitoes angrily buzzing in unison. "Stop killing us!" Humanity would beg for silence. On the bright side, medicine and science would take a leap forward. Lab rats could explain exactly how an experiment makes them feel. Bees could describe why their colonies collapse, leading to breakthroughs in ecology. Whales would recount stories of the deep ocean, solving mysteries we never could. For the first time in history, Earth would have a massive conversation with itself. But what happens if this escalates? First, animals would demand fair pay for their services. Guard dogs would strike until given dental insurance. Carrier pigeons would refuse to fly without proper contracts. Ant colonies would collectively demand recognition as sovereign nations. Within months, the United Nations would be gridlocked by bickering between human diplomats and a delegation of penguins in tuxedos. Then comes religion. Some animals would declare themselves divine messengers. Imagine a goat insisting it has been chosen to deliver humanity's next holy text. Thousands would follow. A cult of talking owls would emerge, spreading moon wisdom and charging for late-night seminars. Humanity would splinter into factions, those who worship animals, those who fight them, and those who just want their cat to stop critiquing their cooking. And if you think that's chaotic, imagine the wars. Squirrels would weaponize acorns, crows would organize air raids, and elephants would blockade highways until ivory trade ended forever. Rats, coordinated across every city, could paralyze human infrastructure overnight. Within weeks, humans might not be in charge anymore at all. But the ultimate disaster comes when ocean life fully joins the conversation. Whales begin lobbying for ocean rights, while sharks warn that they're tired of bad PR. Then billions of sardines demand reparations. Soon the seas become so politically unstable that international trade collapses. And if that weren't enough, jellyfish, yes, jellyfish, would decide that their sting should now be classified as assault with intent. Court systems would drown under lawsuits. Eventually, humans would find themselves overwhelmed. The planet would turn into a deafening parliament of creatures, each demanding something. Every patch of grass would file noise complaints against cows. Every bee would ask to be paid royalties for pollinating. Every spider in your house would give you a motivational speech before reminding you it's not paying rent. The sheer volume of voices would be unbearable. And here's where it all goes too far. At some point, ants would realize they outnumber humans 1,000,000 to 1. With perfect communication and military-style coordination, they could seize control of the Earth in days. Imagine a global government run by ants, with humans reduced to building giant sugar monuments in their honor. So, what if all animals could suddenly talk? At first, it would be the loudest, funniest, most chaotic event in human history. Then it would spiral into lawsuits, cults, and possibly revolutions. And in the end, there's a good chance humanity wouldn't be running the world at all. We'd simply be the confused, slightly guilty side characters in a planet now ruled by squirrels, whales, and ants. And maybe, after all that, our cats were right. We never really were in charge.